I can't believe Porsche made this. Porsche, when it comes to their cars, they've been well known for Boxsters, 911s, Cayennes, some of their popular models. And like every car company, they have to make concepts at some point. But Porsche have been well known for making concepts more than anyone else. And not only that, their concepts are a little bit weirder than everyone else. So if you like that idea, stay tuned, I'm going to explore my favourite Porsche concept. If you're a car fanatic, you'll absolutely love Porsche, and without doubt, they make some of the coolest cars in the world, some of the most iconic cars in the world. There may be a bit of Volkswagen involved, but doesn't mean that they're bad. Porsche designers do not only have a good sense of design, they have a good sense of engineering. And that's what makes a Porsche. It is epic. Cars like the 911, the 550 Spider, the 918, the 928, there's so many types of Porsche out there. The Cayenne, for example, was one of the most iconic and best-selling Porsches ever, but no one really liked it when it came out. Changed the world of SUVs. And whether you like Porsches or not, Porsche have always been there to create cool cars. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some of their amazing concepts that you never heard of, and to be honest, until I did this video, I never heard of either. Oh, and there was also a Porsche van. On the face of it, the Porsche 960 Turismo looks like any other Porsche, and I'd say it looks fantastic. It looks like a mix between the Porsche Taycan and the Porsche Boxster or Cayman. The story goes that Porsche had a new idea for a new four-door supercar, and after a few sketches, the 918 Spider was the final car that they created. But with the creative juices, the design team put together this cool 960 Turismo. Firstly, a cool name, and secondly, it looks fantastic. It's like the sister to the Panamera, and potentially was the first four-door Porsche that was made or drawn up. It's claimed that we had the Taycan because of this amazing looking car. Now, I thought the Taycan was pretty cool, but if you ask me, the 960 is way better looking. Now, moving on to the second car, and arguably my favourite of the lot is the 1987 Porsche 928 H50. Now, on the face of it, this is just a Porsche 928, right? But when you actually look closer, it's a Porsche 928 Hearse edition, or I guess if you want to call it a more grand touring estate car. In 1987, Porsche created the long wheelbase 928. It was built essentially on the S4 platform, but still came with a really nice 330 horsepower V8 engine. There were two different versions of the H50. One made a station wagon and one was made as a hatchback. And I have to say, the 928 in my opinion is a very cool car. Insert Jeremy Clarkson.
The 928 is alright.
Porsche was pretty serious about this, and they put it, believe it or not, through 5,000 miles of testing. Yes, that is a concept car that has done 5,000 miles. Porsche hinted that this car may go into production, essentially the predecessor to the Panamera. But there was a long wait between essentially the 928 in the 1980s and the Panamera in around 2009 at hint of its release. As you can see from these pictures and videos, the 928 H50 is a weird car, but I really like it for what it is. It gives off a whiff of hearse, but at the same time is so unique and so cool and so Porsche that there only had to be a one-off. Just a quick one for me, if you are enjoying this car content and you do like what you see here, I have so much more car content on my channel, and please do check it out here. Porsche 911 Speedsters aren't nothing new, and people have probably seen them before, even if they are concepts. This one is my favourite concept, because this is a Porsche that is essentially a one-of-a-kind, and not one you see often compared to the more modern versions of a Speedster. This is the 1988 Porsche 911 Speedster, which was paid in tribute to the 550 Spider, and once again, Porsche hit it on the head. This thing looks amazing. I can't get my head around how good it looks. As you can see, it's a 1960s and 70s Porsche 911, but with the roof chopped off. A brief history of Porsche Speedsters tells us all we need to know. They've been going essentially since the 356 Speedster in 1954. A car that was really epic, used Volkswagen parts, and probably one of the best Porsches ever made. They created the 1988 model called the G, and that was also well known for being the very fast turbo in 1980s, the 964 in 1992, then there was the 993 Speedster, and of course modern day times we had the 997 in 2010, and recently in 2019 we had the 991. Speedster has been more of a popular thing because of this Porsche Speedster, and with all concepts it inspired a lot of Porsches. At number 4 we have the Porsche Le Mans Living Legend. Now we've seen a few cool Porsches on this video, leave a comment down below on what your favourite is. A 911 that has been sat on for a long time, and at first it emerged in the 2016 period. Inspired by a hardtop Porsche 550, based on the current Boxster, it was a clamshell of bonnets, front and rear, a central fuel filler cap, and a V8 engine. Again, it's a mix of different Porsches, with the 918 and the new 911. It's also very similar to an Audi R8 in terms of style and size. But unlike the R8, this Porsche never went into production, so we never got to see it. But to be honest, it is a bit of a weird one in the market. What do you think about this one? They also gave it a manual gearbox, which at the time seemed a bit rare from Porsche. The Living Legend has also been adapted into more future models and futuristic concept, and it's not the first and last time we'll see a Porsche Living Legend. Gran Turismo also made it a bit of a thing as well. I can't believe Porsche made this. On this list is completely crazy. In 1989, Porsche employees created an extravagant present for a doctor's 80th birthday. Don't ask me why. Christened the Panamericana, it doubled up as a technological showcase, and the company's ever-forward thinking stole the show at the Frankfurt Motor Show. It had semi-open wheels, which, as you can see, looks a little bit weird, and it came with a wraparound glass house and chunky styling, meaning it was never destined to go into production. It's almost like they knew it was just going to be a concept car, although I do have to commend it for how different it does look. It looks more like an amphibious Porsche. Porsche insisted that it might indicate the potential future of 911s. A favourite detail of mine is the simplified shield etched into the large treads. That is pretty cool. Of all the Porsches on this list, I have to say, this has got to be one of the coolest. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do like the content, as always, don't forget to subscribe.